Welcome, dear Judicial Service aspirants. Today, in this session, we are posing to ourselves whether we are in a position to have a fresh visit to our resolve to dedicate for the cause of justice. It is blissfully aspirant that we shall visit afresh our resolve to dedicate justice. This visit is to be in the background of our entitlement, grace of Goddess of justice. We shall visit afresh our entitlement, grace of Goddess of justice. We shall visit afresh our resolve to dedicate for the cause of justice. Our this visit brings in many questions, many issues, many features. 10 amongst them are: number one, whether we have already settled our health issues, whether we have any health issues, and if there are any health issues, whether we have already settled them. Secondly, whether we have tied our social loose ends, whether we are having any social loose ends, and if there are any, whether we have tied them. The third is whether our social and friendly circles are duly sealed. Are we conscious about our social circles, our friendly circles, whether these social and friendly circles are properly sealed? Fourth, whether we have proper programs for our time frames, in which way, under which time frames we want to live, and whether we have proper programs for our time frames. Fifthly, whether we are conscious of our satisfaction index. Are we knowing what is the height of our satisfaction? Whether we know what is the satisfaction index of ours, and if we are glimpsing the satisfaction index, whether we are conscious about the way it will have its blissful state. Sixthly, whether we have due projection of our intellectual aspirations. Are we having intellectual aspirations? What are those intellectual aspirations? Whether we have due projections of them, and if we have due projections of them, whether we are conscious about their features and values and implications. Seventhly, the question, basic question, is whether our life mission is imbibe bliss of values of justice, or whether our life mission is otherwise than to imbibe bliss of values of justice. Eighthly, are we doing justice to our preparation for the competition examination? Are we doing justice to our preparation for the competition examination? whether with each passing day our bliss index is rising, whether we are regularly introspecting for entitlement for the grace of Goddess of Justice. Let us begin fresh. Let us pose to ourselves. Let us pose to ourselves whether our resolve to dedicate for the cause of justice remains, whether still we are firm with our resolve to dedicate for the cause of justice. Let us visit. We must visit our resolve. It should be in depth glimpsing up till the foundational state of our resolve. Let it not be a superficial visit. Our visit to our resolve to dedicate for the cause of justice shall be an in-depth visit. Let us visit this resolve again and again as all what is to follow for our remaining life after joining the judicial service is to depend for its bliss only parallel to the resolute foundation of our dedication for the cause of justice. So let us visit afresh. This visit to our resolve is also required, as in terms of this visit to our resolve, in fact, we shall be visiting afresh our entitlement for grace of Goddess of Justice. Our entitlement for grace of Goddess of Justice depends, is interlinked with our resolve to dedicate for the cause of justice. We shall expect entitlement for grace of Goddess of Justice only to the degree of firmness of our resolve for dedicating for the cause of justice. It is dedication for the cause of justice which is to manifest itself as entitlement for grace of Goddess of Justice. The entitlement for grace of Goddess of Justice is the immediate fruit of our dedication for the cause of justice. This visit and this reciprocal interrelationship of our resolve for justice and entitlement for the grace of Goddess of Justice brings us face to face with the following 10 queries. The first is whether we have settled our health issues. If we have not settled our health issues, then the entire performance is going to be very, very badly affected. So we shall settle our health issues. It is with the settlement of the health issues that we will be true to our dedication for the cause of justice. Secondly, we have to tie our social loose ends. If there remain social loose ends, then those are going to have a very bad effect upon our judicial service performance. Health issues and the social loose ends are two very big factors which come in the way of due performance of judicial duties. The third is whether our social and friendly circles are duly sealed or not. If we have not sealed our social and friendly circles, then this domain is going to have overlapping effect on our performance. Social and friendly circles need be duly sealed well in time. Fourthly, we shall have our proper programs for our time frames. If we are not having proper programs for our time frames, then time will recoil upon us. To avoid recoiling of the time, we shall have proper programs for our time frames. Further, we are conscious of our satisfaction index or not is going to be a very big factor in the index of our performance. It is our satisfaction index which is to reflect and duplicate itself in our performance index. Therefore, we shall be conscious of our satisfaction index. It is our consciousness of our satisfaction index which is to reflect in the quality and quantity of performance index of ours. Further, whether we have projection of our intellectual aspirations or not, if we are not having due projection of our intellectual aspirations, then certainly it will amount to having mental blocking. This mental blocking is worst for the judicial officer. Judicial officer is to have intellectual aspirations of the highest order. It is the intellectual aspiration of the judicial officer which really makes him a judicial officer. Judicial officer is one who has judicial satisfaction of its intellectual aspirations. Further, our life mission is to be clear. Our life mission is to be to imbibe bliss of values of justice. If our life mission is not to imbibe bliss of values of justice, then neither we are worthy of our resolve, nor we are worthy of the grace of the goddess of justice. In fact, if our life mission is otherwise than to imbibe values of justice, then it would mean that we are on the side of injustice. Therefore, life mission other than to imbibe values of justice would mean one is going against one's own resolve and one is going against the grace of the goddess of justice. Then we have to ask ourselves, are we doing justice to our preparation for competition examination? If we are not doing justice to our preparation for competition examination, then whether we can say that we are worthy for the entitlement of the grace of Goddess of Justice at all. We have to do justice to our preparation for the competition examination. And with each passing day, our bliss index should rise, and it will be only if we are doing justice to our preparations. Our justice to our preparations is our bliss index. Our bliss index will rise parallel with our justice to our preparations. And for it, we have to be regularly introspecting for entitlement for the grace of Goddess of Justice. To be entitled for the grace of Goddess of Justice, one is to regularly introspect. One is to regularly inspect with each passing day to what justice is being done by us for our preparations for this examination. Our life mission is to imbibe values of justice. Our resolve is, our dedication is for the cause of justice. Our life mission is to imbibe bliss of values of justice. For it, we have to prepare well. Each passing day should rise our bliss index, and it is this regular introspection which will surely entitle us for the grace of Goddess of Justice. Wish you well. Thank you very much.